It's the dream, isn't it, for so many creators out there. You post a video and suddenly, bam, your channel just explodes.
Yeah, exactly. For, like, the longest time, it felt like pure luck, Just uploading stuff and hoping something sticks.
And that's really what we want to unpack today. Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive. Our mission here is to get past that guesswork.
We're laying out more of a strategic blueprint for YouTube's success, showing it's really not about luck. It's more about understanding the
Right.
signals.
The signs that show a channel is actually about to take off, and, maybe more importantly, what you, the creator, can actually do to make it happen.
And these are insights distilled from, real expert experience.
Think of this whole deep dive as maybe a shortcut to getting properly informed about YouTube growth. We're pulling out the really actionable stuff.
Yeah, the nuggets that can save you, hopefully, loads of time trying to figure out the algorithms and what audiences actually want.
Okay, so let's just jump right into this fascinating world of growing a YouTube channel. Where do we even start?
Well, what's really fascinating, I think, is how often creators, especially when they're new, they get fixated on views.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Low views equals bad video in most people's mind.
Exactly. But the first hurdle, the real gatekeepers, especially for a small or new channel, it isn't views. It's actually getting YouTube to even show your content.
Okay.
Which brings us to, like, the first big point. Impressions are king.
Impressions. Okay, yeah, it sounds simple, but maybe break that down. How is it different from a view? Because that's where confusion can start, right?
Totally. Views means someone clicked play and watched. Impressions, that's simpler. It's just the number of times YouTube showed your video thumbnail to someone.
So like on their homepage or in the suggested videos list.
Exactly. Suggested feeds, recommendations, browse features. It's just YouTube putting it out there. It's like the first little nod from the algorithm saying, hey, maybe check this out.
Okay. And you mentioned there's a critical benchmark here, something creators should watch out for.
Yeah, definitely. There's this key benchmark. If you post, say, 7 videos over maybe 20 days, and that channel is getting fewer than 10,000 total impressions across all those videos.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's a big warning sign. It's basically telling you YouTube isn't really pushing your content out there.
Even if the thumbnails and titles seem okay, and the ideas are solid.
Even then, the expert we're drawing from sees this a lot with students. Good ideas, good thumbnails, but stuck below that 10K impression mark, it means YouTube just isn't sampling it widely.
So why? Why is that 10,000 impression number such a red flag? What's happening behind the scenes with the algorithm?
Well, it signals that the very first people YouTube did show it to didn't engage enough. The click-through rate was probably low, or maybe they clicked off quickly.
Oh, okay.
So YouTube's system, which relies heavily on those early signals, kind of goes, okay, this isn't grabbing people, and it stops showing it as much. It hasn't found its footing, its groove in the algorithm.
It's like YouTube saying, not quite the right audience match yet. So it throttles back the reach.
Pretty much. And, the fix for this, the suggested fix, sounds kind of radical.
Oh, go on.
If you're stuck in that low impression zone, the advice is actually to take down those poor performing videos, re-export them, and then re-upload them onto a completely different new channel.
Wait, seriously? Take them down
Yeah.
and start a whole new channel? That seems
Yeah.
drastic. Why does that work?
It's a really interesting quirk. YouTube seems to make a judgment about a new channel very early on based on those first few videos. If they perform badly in terms of those initial impressions and clicks,
Yeah.
the channel can get sort of algorithmically stuck, maybe miscategorized. It's not really a shadow ban like people think, like some penalty. It's more that YouTube's system has filed it under doesn't resonate.
Right. Not malicious, just the algorithm's assessment.
Exactly. So starting fresh on a new channel, it gives you a clean slate. YouTube tends to give all brand new channels a little initial visibility boost to test the waters.
Leveraging that new channel smell.
Kind of, yeah. And for students, this tactic has genuinely led to immediate pickup on the new channel. Videos that got no impressions suddenly start getting traction.
So flipping that around then.
Yeah.
If you launch a new channel, put up maybe 3 or 4 videos, and you immediately see thousands of impressions. That's a good sign.
That's a fantastic sign, yes. It tells you the opposite. Your channel isn't stuck or miscategorized. YouTube sees potential and is already willing to recommend your stuff more widely. Your first videos landed well enough.
Okay, so getting seen is step 1. Impressions are key. But what should you be making to turn those impressions into something more? This leads to another point that feels, well, A bit counterintuitive for creative folks.
Oh, definitely. This is a big one. Most creators, they strive for complete originality. They think that's the path. Unique ideas, standing out.
Makes sense on the surface.
But the expert's experience working with literally thousands of students, it shows only a tiny handful, like vanishingly small number, actually succeed with totally original concepts. In fact, they go so far as to say originality significantly lowers your chances of success on YouTube.
That's huge. Why? Why does the platform, the algorithm, maybe even the audience, seem to work against pure originality?
Well, think about how YouTube works. It wants to show viewers more of what they already like. It uses categories, viewing patterns. If your idea is so original, it doesn't fit neatly anywhere.
The algorithm doesn't know who to show it to.
Exactly. And viewers themselves often look for familiar stuff within their favorite niches. So a completely new type of content has a much harder time getting initial traction.
So the secret isn't invention. It's replication.
In a strategic way, yes. The core strategy is simply doing what already works.
Okay. And the expert giving this advice, they've lived this, right?
Yeah.
Made serious money with faceless channels.
Yeah, over $1.7 million since 2018 with faceless channels. And get this, out of all those channels, only one was based on a truly original idea, a country music channel about artists' lives. That was the only unique one that really took off.
That really drives the point home. So if originality is often a dead end, how do you find the blueprint? How do you figure out what does work?
It starts, fundamentally, with understanding why people click. First step, find a successful competitor, someone who's killing it in your niche.
And this works for faceless channels and personality channels.
Both. Find who's already winning in your space. Then you don't guess what works for them.
You use the data.
Right. Go to their channel, hit their videos tab, and sort by most popular. That list, that's gold. It tells you exactly what content resonates most powerfully with their audience, which is likely your target audience too.
Let's make this concrete. You mentioned a case study, a faceless car channel.
Yeah, pulls in about 1.8 million views a month. That's easily over $10,000 a month. One of their biggest hits was a video called "Do Not Buy These Cars." 2.6 million views in 7 months. Massive.
Okay, so what happens when you analyze that?
Here's the kicker. If you search YouTube for "Do Not Buy This Car," the top 2 results, both faceless channels, and their thumbnails are incredibly similar.
How so?
Both show a car facing right. Big, bold text across the top. Smaller text underneath. It's a clear visual pattern. If you scroll down, personality channels covering the same topic get way fewer views.
Wow, okay. So the pattern is the key.
It absolutely is, which leads to a crucial point. Make the thumbnail first.
Before the video.
Before anything else. Getting that click is the single most important step. The video itself. You can figure that out later. Outsource it, use AI, whatever. But nailing that thumbnail is job one.
And the strategy is to camouflage your thumbnail.
Right.
Make it look like the successful ones.
Exactly. You're essentially creating a blueprint based on what's proven to work. So for that car example, find a good side profile shot of a car. Clean it up, remove the background maybe, add a cool background like a landscape or smoke.
Then the text.
Then add text using that same structure, big headline talk, smaller detail below, similar feel, similar layout, but obviously make it your own image and text. You're mirroring the successful format.
So your video instantly looks like it belongs alongside the other high-performing ones in that search or suggestion feed.
Precisely. It reduces friction for the viewer. They already recognize that style as something they might click on.
And this camouflage idea, it extends beyond just the thumbnail, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. The expert stresses this. Your video ideas should also be similar to what your top competitors are posting regularly. Not identical copies, but slight variations on proven themes.
Same for the editing style.
Yes. Look at their editing. What kind of images do they use? Stock footage? AI voice? What's the background music like? Keep it consistent. Once you grasp this whole camouflage strategy, it's like unlocking a cheat code.
It really is. I remember spending ages on some totally original video concept once, thinking it was brilliant. Crickets. This makes so much sense in hindsight.
It does. Now, gotta be realistic. This approach, while powerful, it's not guaranteed success on video number 1 or even video number 15.
Right. Patience is needed.
Patience and persistence, absolutely. You might even need to try a few different niches. There was a student, Omar, who switched niches 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. But he kept applying the strategy consistently, got feedback, refined, and eventually found success. Sometimes you gotta grind it out. Even if you hear stories of channels blowing up overnight, consistent application is key.
Okay, so this very disciplined, data-led approach,
Yeah.
It leads us nicely into the algorithm's actual language, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for faceless channels.
Exactly. For faceless channels, which is a big focus here, there are really only two metrics that matter deeply to YouTube's algorithm: click-through rate CTR and average view duration AVD.
And you mentioned this is why just copying, say, Mr. Beast doesn't work for a faceless channel.
Right. Because with someone like Mr. Beast, the personality is a huge part of the draw. That's the differentiator. For Faceless, you don't have that. You have to rely on the core content metrics to speak the algorithm's language.
Got it. So CTR, click-through rate. What is that exactly?
It's super simple. It's just the percentage of people who saw your video's thumbnail. Remember, that's the impression, and then actually clicked on it.
Okay, got an example.
Yeah, the expert shared one. A video got 32.3 million impressions. Out of those, 3.2 million people clicked. So you divide clicks by impressions.
You get the percentage.
Right, which in this case was 7.4% CTR. And the expert noted, that's not bad. It means the thumbnail and title did their job reasonably well.
Okay, 7.4%. Makes sense. And the other one, AVD.
Average view duration. This one tells YouTube how long, on average, people stuck around and watched your video after clicking.
So engagement.
Deep engagement, exactly.
Yeah.
Using that celebrity news channel example again, they had an AVD of almost 11 minutes. That's excellent, especially combined with that 7.4% CTR. It tells YouTube, hey, people click and they stay watching.
Right, connecting this back.
Yeah.
It's about giving the algorithm the signals it values. CTR says, this is appealing. AVD says, this is satisfying.
You nailed it. And the crucial thing here is understanding the benchmarks for your specific niche. They aren't the same for everything. Ah, okay. How does that break down?
So for evergreen niches, think cars, health, finance stuff that's always relevant. Your CTR might naturally be a bit lower, maybe 5% to 7% is fine, but your average view duration has to be high. You're aiming for people watching like 50% to 70% of the video.
Higher retention.
Super high retention.
Yeah.
But then look at trendy, time-sensitive niches, celebrity news, sports news, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There, your CTR needs to be much higher, ideally over 10%,
Yeah.
because it's competing with lots of fresh, breaking stuff. But your AVD can be a bit lower, maybe over 5 minutes is good enough.
That's a really practical formula.
And the expert stands by it, saying this formula has about a 98% accuracy in predicting whether your channel or videos will take off. It shows how these numbers work together too.
How so?
Like in that celebrity news example, the AVD was incredibly high, almost 11 minutes. That strength likely compensated for a CTR that was good, but maybe not over 10%.
Yeah.
The high engagement kept YouTube promoting it.
Right, one can sometimes pull up the other. And you touched on the money side, RPM. Yeah, briefly, RPM is revenue per mil, basically how much you earn per 1,000 views. For some P. Diddy trial videos they mentioned, the RPM was $10.49. So strong metrics don't just get you views, they can get you higher value views.
That definitely provides incentive to get these numbers right.
It really does. It shifts your focus from just making a video to making a video that performs according to the platform's rules. And the cool part is YouTube helps you figure this out.
Which brings us, I think, to the last key piece. Understanding your audience, using the tools YouTube gives you. This is the final sign a channel's ready to pop, right? Yeah. Knowing what the audience wants.
Exactly. And not just guessing, but actually looking at the data YouTube provides right inside YouTube Studio. It's like they hand you the roadmap.
Okay, so where in YouTube Studio should creators be looking?
There are a few gold mines. First, head to the Audience tab. Look for channels your audience also watches. This is huge.
Why is that so important?
It tells you if you're swimming in the right pond, algorithmically speaking. If you make car videos, you want to see other car channels listed there. If you see channels about, I don't know, knitting or cooking.
Something's off. The algorithm has you pegged wrong, or you're attracting the wrong crowd.
Precisely. It's a quick check to see if YouTube understands who your content is for. It helps you diagnose problems.
Okay, what else in the Audience tab?
Right near that, you'll find videos your audience watches. This includes shorts, live streams, everything. The expert calls this an incredibly powerful tool.
How should you use it?
If your videos aren't doing well, you need to study the videos listed here.
Yeah.
These are the videos your target audience is actively watching and enjoying. Analyze them.
Analyze what specifically?
How are the scripts written? Do they take a strong stance on the topic, or are they neutral? What's the editing like? Fast cuts? Slow pace? What kind of music or sound effects are they using?
So you're basically getting direct feedback on what resonates with your people.
Exactly. The answers are often right there, showing you what styles and approaches are currently working for the audience you want to reach.
Okay, Audience tab covered. Anything else?
One more key spot is under the Content tab, sometimes under Reach. Look for how viewers find your videos.
What does that tell you?
It breaks down where your views are coming from. Is it mostly browse features, like homepage, suggested videos, YouTube search, channel pages?
And knowing that helps you tailor your strategy.
Definitely. If most views come from search, your titles and descriptions need strong keywords. If it's suggested, your thumbnails and initial engagement, CTR/AVD, are critical to keep getting recommended. It shows you which parts of the YouTube ecosystem are working best for you.
Wow. So when you put it all together, YouTube really is giving creators a ton of data.
They absolutely are. It might feel like a lot or even kind of counterintuitive to just, follow the data and replicate successful formats. But the expert's point is clear. This data is your roadmap.
So boiling it all down for you, the creator listening, what does this mean? It means the answers are often there, inside your own analytics, if you just know where to look and what questions to ask.
It's about making that shift, doesn't it? From just creating and hoping to using a really strategic, data-informed approach to growth. It empowers you to make smarter choices.
Okay, so let's do a super quick recap. We talked about focusing hard on impressions. First, that's the gatekeeper.
Then strategically replicating what works, especially those vital thumbnails, using that camouflage idea.
Right. Then mastering the algorithm's language for your niche understanding and optimizing your click-through rate, CTR, and average view duration, AVD.
And finally, using all that rich audience data inside YouTube Studio as your guide, your roadmap to figure out what your audience truly wants.
It really feels like a much clearer path than just throwing content out there and crossing your fingers.
Definitely. It's about working with the system.
So here's a final thought to leave you with, something to chew on. If YouTube really does provide all this data, all the clues you need to succeed, what assumptions might you be holding on to right now about your audience or about what makes a good video that the data could actually disprove?
Ooh, that's a good one. Like, what beliefs are getting in the way?
Exactly. How might digging into that data, really reevaluating what it tells you, even if it's uncomfortable, be the very next step you need to take on your journey to real YouTube growth?
Food for thought, definitely.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep digging, keep learning, and keep creating.